deep dive. Today, we're heading deep into the Amazon rainforest. It's vast, it's mysterious, and we're not just here to list facts. We're really taking a journey into the unknown parts, where nature keeps some pretty perplexing secrets hidden away.
Oh, absolutely. It holds so many secrets. I mean, the sheer scale is just mind-boggling. You're talking about an area spanning 8 countries? That's 7 million square kilometers. To put that in perspective, that's like 2 Indias, or maybe 28 United Kingdoms.
Yeah.
Huge.
Wow.
And like the deep ocean, so much of it is just unexplored. By us, anyway. We think we've only identified maybe 10% of the plants, animals, microbes. They find new species almost daily.
Really? That's incredible.
Yeah. And think about this, around 400 billion trees. They call it Earth's lungs for a reason. It pumps out about 20% of the world's oxygen. And maybe the most astonishing part, estimates suggest there are about 250,000 people living there with zero connection to the outside world.
250,000 people.
Yeah.
That scale, the unexplored parts, it just blows your mind. It really makes you wonder what else is hidden in there, right? So our mission for this deep dive is to unpack some of the most intriguing unsolved mysteries. The ones tucked away in this amazing, vital ecosystem. We've got some fascinating sources, and we're going to dig into the details they offer about this place. Okay, so with a place that immense and, well, largely unknown, it's bound to inspire legends. And maybe none have lasted quite like El Dorado, the city of gold.
Right.
Just imagine a city supposedly made of solid gold. There's the story of a king who'd cover himself in gold dust every day and then just wash it off into the Amazon River.
Yeah, that legend really took hold back in the 16th century. European explorers arrive, right? They see these existing Amazonian cities, which were pretty sophisticated, and they start hearing rumors, whispers from local tribes about this city, deep in the jungle, overflowing with gold.
So they went looking.
Oh, absolutely. For about 200 years, they searched. They launched massive expeditions. And look, they found a lot of gold, definitely, and they contacted many tribes. But El Dorado itself, nope, never found it. Eventually, it just got written off, declared a myth.
But the story doesn't quite end there. It gets really interesting in the 19th century. There was this British explorer, Percy Fawcett, and he became completely obsessed with finding El Dorado.
That's right, Fawcett.
He dedicated his life to it, made, 8 expeditions into the Amazon? And then his last trip, May 29th, 1925, he heads out from his camp in the Mato Grosso region of Brazil, and he just vanishes, never seen again.
Yeah.
For decades, people thought he was just, a fool chasing a fantasy, lost to the jungle.
Well, and for a long time, the sort of scientific thinking was that the Amazon couldn't really support large, complex cities anyway. The soil, the environment, it seemed too tough. So Fawcett's quest looked even more, hopeless in hindsight.
But that's changed now, hasn't it, with technology?
Massively, yeah. Recent discoveries have completely flipped that idea on its head. They found evidence, like ancient human waste buried underground, indicating large populations. And then there's LiDAR. This scanning tech lets us see through the dense jungle canopy, and guess what? They found stone structures, foundations, evidence of settlements hidden beneath layers and layers of jungle growth. Time just swallowed them.
So actual cities.
Looks like it. National Geographic found one, I think it was about 15 kilometers inland from the Caribbean coast, about 1,200 years old. Structures built right into the mountains. It forces us to completely rewrite the history books on this. These weren't just myths.
Wow. Okay, so we're finding these lost cities, but the big question is still there, isn't it? Which one, if any, is the real El Dorado? Or is the legendary city still out there, waiting? It really shows how sometimes those old myths might have a grain of truth, just waiting for us to find the proof. All right, let's shift from legends that might be real to a reality that almost sounds like fiction. The uncontacted tribes living in the Amazon right now. It's kind of hard to wrap your head around in our super connected world, isn't it?
It truly is astonishing, and it means, for anthropologists, our knowledge is incredibly limited, very fragmented. Take the Piracura tribe, for example. They're in western Brazil. Their numbers used to be in the thousands, apparently. Now, maybe just 15 or 20 people left.
15 people?
Yeah. And we only really made contact or became aware of them properly in 1998, very recent.
And their story is just heartbreaking from what I understand. When linguists finally started to understand their language, it revealed this incredible resilience, yes, but also the horrific impact of illegal loggers, the so-called land mafia and mining groups who'd killed so many of their people.
Exactly. It's a tragic story, and it's a stark reminder of the pressures these isolated groups face, not just in the Amazon, but globally. It really makes you think about our responsibility, doesn't it? Protecting their way of life, protecting these last truly wild places.
Yeah.
And it ties back to the bigger questions, too. Where did these tribes originally come from? Do they have any connection to those ancient civilizations, the ones who built those cities we were just talking about, the ones Fawcett might have been looking for? It's all part of this huge, complex human story in the Amazon that we're still trying to piece together.
So we have ancient cities, uncontacted tribes, hinting at these long human histories. But another discovery has pushed the timeline for humans in the Amazon back even further. Way further. Historians have always sort of puzzled over when people first got there.
Right, that's been a big question. But in 2017, there was a major breakthrough. Near Colombia, archaeologists found these huge mountain stones, buried, covered in ancient cave paintings. And these weren't small rocks. They were massive, embedded deep. It took a huge excavation effort, like 13 kilometers long, to uncover them all.
13 kilometers of paintings. And how old are we talking?
Get this.
Yeah.
Roughly 12,000 years old.
12,000.
Yeah, which puts them right at the end of the last ice age.
So back then, that area wouldn't have been the dense jungle we picture now. It would have been, what, icy? Different landscape entirely.
Exactly. Probably more like savanna, maybe patches of forest, but definitely colder. And the paintings show that. They depict ice age animals, things like mastodons, giant sloths, megafauna.
Wow. Pictures of mastodons from 12,000 years ago.
Incredible, isn't it? These paintings are like a window into a completely different world. They give us these invaluable clues about how early humans lived there, how they survived, how they hunted animals much, much larger than themselves. It shows incredible human adaptability in a landscape so different from today's Amazon.
Yeah.
Really pushes back the timeline for people in the Americas.
Okay, from the ancient past to a really, really strange modern event. This one is truly baffling. In 2019, a dead humpback whale was found, not in the ocean, but on Marajo Island in North Brazil, in the forest.
Yeah, that one was exceptionally weird because humpback whales, they have a pattern, right? They like the warm waters up near the Amazon around October, November. Then they head south, way south towards Antarctica to feed in the colder waters.
Right.
The whale was a baby, about 10 tons, and it was found dead in February. Totally the wrong time of year for it to be up there.
Okay, wrong time of year. But the location, you said on land.
On land, yes. Near the Amazon River, but definitely beached, in the mangroves, among the trees, not in the ocean.
And there were no obvious signs of, like, an attack or a ship strike?
No visible injuries. And the scientists figured it had only been dead for about 4 days when they found it.
So,
yeah,
a baby whale, wrong season, wrong place on land, in the forest. How does that even happen?
That is the million-dollar question. Or maybe the 10-ton whale question. How did it get there in February? Completely against its migration instinct. Why swim into the Amazon River estuary? And the biggest one, how did it end up physically on land? Tangled in the mangroves, maybe a huge tide, a storm surge, we don't know.
It's just bizarre.
It really is. And beyond just being a strange biological puzzle, it makes you wonder, could it be a sign of something else? Changes in ocean currents, water temperatures messing with navigation. It's a really perplexing event. A signal from nature, perhaps, that we don't fully understand yet.
Definitely something to think about. Okay, let's shift gears again to something much smaller, but just as mysterious, at least initially. This was discovered more recently, 2013. A chemistry student, I think near Peru, found this weird little structure on a leaf.
Yeah, it looked almost alien, like something out of science fiction, but tiny. It was described as a little silk cone, like a spire in the middle, and around it, a circular fence made of silk strands, like a miniature Stonehenge, but made of silk.
Silkhenge, I remember that name.
Exactly. That's what they ended up calling them. The student posted pictures online. Scientists got interested, and they went looking. They found over 45 more of these little structures on trees, on leaves in that area, completely unique. Nothing like it had been documented before.
So what was making them? That was the mystery, right?
That was the big question. They took samples back to the lab, and under the microscope, they found tiny dust mites crawling on the silk fence.
Okay. But mites don't spin silk, do they?
Nope. Mites definitely do not produce silk. So that just deepened the mystery. What on earth built this intricate little fortress? Was it some unknown insect? Something else entirely?
So how did they figure it out?
Well, patience paid off. They kept some of the structures under observation. And after a few days, bingo, a tiny baby spider hatched and emerged from the central silk cone.
A spider? Of course.
It turns out it's a specific species of spider, only found in that part of the western Amazon. And it builds these incredible little silk hinges around its egg sac. The fence isn't for defense, not primarily anyway. It's a trap. It catches tiny dust mites.
So the babies have food waiting for them.
Exactly. Instant breakfast as soon as they hatch. How ingenious is that?
That's brilliant. A pre-stocked pantry built by mom. What a great example of how these Amazon mysteries sometimes get solved. And the answer is often some kind of amazing, unexpected biological adaptation. Even the tiniest creatures have these incredible secrets. So we've covered quite a range today, haven't we? Everything from legendary lost cities and explorers who vanished, to uncontacted tribes still living isolated lives, amazing ice age art, that totally bizarre whale incident, and even these tiny, brilliant spider structures.
Yeah, it really drives home just how vast the Amazon is, doesn't it? And how many secrets it still holds. These stories show us that exploration is still vital. And we need to keep thinking critically when we encounter things we don't understand. If you connect it to the bigger picture, the Amazon is this constant reminder of how much more we have to learn about our own planet. We think we have it all mapped out, but then, boom, a lost city or a whale in a forest. It shows we might need to revise what we think we know.
Absolutely. It challenges assumptions. So, listening to all this, what really stands out to you? What part of the Amazon's mystery captures your imagination the most?
That's a great question to ponder. And maybe the final thought to leave with is this. Given how much of the Amazon is still unexplored, truly unexplored, what else could be out there? What other ancient secrets, undiscovered species, maybe phenomena even stranger than a misplaced whale, are still hidden, just waiting for us to stumble upon them? And when we do find them, how might those discoveries change our whole understanding of Earth, of history, of life itself?